Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the Boomer Bust podcast with Max. I'm Max Dorsey, joined alongside Max Shostak, and it is Thursday, April 8th, and we started a podcast.
We did.
We did. All right, so we've had a radio show, for those of you who don't know, at our school for some time. This is all draft content, by the way. And we wanted to transition to a podcast so it can be a little more freelance, maybe a little explicit. But yeah, kind of just weekly or even twice a week draft content.
Yeah, I mean, NFL draft rolling around. No better time to start than now. And we both love the draft. That's the goal of this.
Yeah, it's kind of like the basis of our relationship.
Yeah.
That's why we're friends.
Yeah, he likes the NFL draft. I like the NFL draft. Not that many people are as obsessive over it as we are, and
Correct.
Here we are.
Yeah. All right. I think we should start with some recent news. A team that we thought was going to take quarterback decided to trade for a quarterback, and the Panthers get perhaps their quarterback of the future in Sam Darnold. So that kind of opens up the board here because I was just looking at Twitter, and the odds that Mac Jones goes at 3 is 1 out of 2.
Oh my
So
God.
50% odds right now on Mac Jones going at 3. Very, very high odds for Mac Jones at 3. So then it kind of opens up, do the Falcons take one at 4? Do the Broncos trade up? Do the Patriots trade up? Does the football team trade up? Do the Bears trade up? So I think that with the Sam Darnold trade, whereas before it was like the Panthers are locked to take a quarterback, now you have these other teams where we're going to see some movement. And I think it starts at number 4 with a trade if it happens.
I think number 4 is going to be a trade. I think somebody's going to give Atlanta a haul for it. And I do think Jones is going to go 3. I don't really think he should. But I think that's how it's going to play out. That's what all the reports indicate. And I think a team that might come out of nowhere is Dallas at 4, and I don't think it's going to be for a quarterback.
Ooh,
I think because Jerry Jones is infatuated with Kyle Pitts. That's been coming out the last couple days, and we've talked about this a lot on our radio show before that 5-6 is prime for Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
But both teams could use Kyle Pitts. Mike Gesicki's more of like an inline tight end that can go off for a deep ball. Kyle Pitts will get outside and really make defenses work. And Drew Sample for Cincinnati isn't an NFL starting tight end. But Dallas could use a tight end. They could jump that if they land at 4.
Yeah.
And Jerry Jones I saw Colin Cowherd say this, he's afraid of being irrelevant. And I don't think he's wrong by saying that. Jerry Jones always looking for the big splash. And I think this yes, the Tampa Bay Bucks exist, but Dallas might have the best offense in the NFC if they can get Kyle Pitts.
And I was thinking about it earlier. If you look at 4, 5, 6, 7, even with Hawkinson, 8, 9, even with Fant, 10, Cowboys, 11, the Giants, even with Ingram, 12, Eagles, 13, 14, and 15. If I were any of those teams, my number 1 prospect on my big board right now is Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think I don't know. I mean, I guess they're not really that interested, but the Chargers at 13, if they could figure something out, like let's say a team moves up to 4 for a QB, and then it's Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell at 6. The Chargers, I feel like, could be a candidate to move up to 7, especially after losing Hunter Henry. They brought in Jared Cook, but that's not going to do Justin Herbert very many favors. That offense would be potent.
I also think that at 13, we could see a trade up to reunite Sewell and Herbert if Sewell falls out of the top 6.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. The Chargers have always been looking for offensive line help. Haven't really been able to hit when they go in that direction. Offensive line class is deep, but I think if Sewell starts slipping, somebody has to make a move. I think we're going to see a lot of trades for non-quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I
think
think
offense is really good in this draft.
Yeah, it's not only offense. I think we could also see if Parsons starts to fall out of the top 15, does a team come in and jump him? In my most recent mock, I had the football team jumping the Raiders, who could take linebacker, the Dolphins, who could take linebacker, swapping with the Cardinals and getting Parsons, which I think could happen because the Cardinals are so low on draft picks this year. So I think there's going to be a lot of movement in the back half of the draft, which should be a lot of fun.
I think the top and the back half, I think there's going to be moves in and out. There's teams at the back of the draft that don't really have much capital that could be moving out, giving a team 2 or 3 total first-round picks, depending on the team you're talking about. And just going back to that Atlanta Cowboys Pitts thing. If you look at Atlanta when they move back, like you have to look at both sides of the trade. It's not just Dallas moving up, but it's also Atlanta gaining capital. They're still at 10. When you look at the teams that need corner, Atlanta needs a corner that can. I know they drafted one last year, but they need a corner that can run with the likes of Michael Thomas, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans in that division. DJ
and AJ
Moore,
Terrell
yeah,
isn't
AJ
necessarily
Terrell's not
like the best.
Yeah, like
I never thought he was a first round. That
Me
was
neither.
one of the weakest corner classes ever.
Yeah, it was. Also, Gladney's now rung his name into that class with Terrell and Arnett.
I don't understand how if you are an NFL football player, much like the position Deshaun Watson's in, you have everything in your life set out for you, and then you go and ruin it, like Jeff Gladney did, like a lot of football players did. I've never understood that.
I mean, I respect Jeff Gladney. I guess he came clean and plead guilty, but like,
yeah, he did.
Really?
You also committed a crime.
Yeah, I mean, really? Like, why? I mean, it's hard for us to say because we're not in that position, but you have so much going for you. Just
You have so much to lose.
Yeah, so much going for you and so much to lose. Just don't do it. I mean, like, Isaiah Wilson, at that point, he doesn't love football with all that stuff. But,
Yeah.
like, a guy like Jeff Gladney and stuff like that, you're a second-year player, and you don't need to do this. You probably dropped out of college early to go for the draft. The outside of football, I don't know if these guys have much, and this happens, and it's...
That Florida State player, too. That former Florida State player just killed his girlfriend.
Is it Travis Rudolph or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was his girl. He killed someone.
That's wild.
Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, let's get back to the draft. I think just keep going with the positional groups. I think my favorite in this class is slowly becoming the linebackers. I'm a huge fan of linebackers. You got Parsons, off the ball guy. People are even saying teams might put him at edge. He's athletic enough to develop into a really good pass cover. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is the most versatile. I told you at his pro day he tried out at D-line, linebacker, and safety. Like I think he's going to play at like 230 or 220,
Wow.
and he's playing. And he tried out at defensive line. Obviously, I think he's best fit at linebacker, but I know a lot of guys in the industry, including Matt Miller, have him at safety, which is kind of crazy as well.
Yeah.
And Matt actually had him going to the Jaguars, which didn't really make sense to me. But if you want to talk about pro comps, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is very similar to Miles Jack.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you mentioned Miles Jack. You told me this the other day. Guy drops back to safety, stuff like that. Jags, there's a lot of buzz around Trayvon Moehrig at 25, and let's say they're not as high on him, and a good player like Owusu-Koramoah slips. I mean, I could see them pulling the trigger on that. I think they might target help for Trevor Lawrence there, but if a good player slips, I don't think they hesitate. They have a lot of picks.
And outside the top two, I mean, there's still some of my favorite guys in the class. Yeah. I think Nick Bolton's the best defensive leader in this class, really just understands the game, and is just a really good, solid thumper middle linebacker. You got one of my favorites, Jamin Davis, freak athlete, can really do anything you ask, and another guy that's just so athletic that he's bound to be good in coverage.
Yeah.
And then you have Jabril Cox, who's basically a safety as well, playing the linebacker position, consistent tackler, and the best coverage linebacker in the class. You could throw David Callens into that category. I know we have our hesitations on him, but...
I have hesitations, but I love him. Like, he's a really, really good player. I just don't know if that position is going to... I think he is. I'm going to go right ahead and say I think he is.
I saw a Ravens account throw... He's a Ravens fan, by the way.
Yep.
I saw a Ravens account throw Kadarius Toney to the Ravens.
Don't like it.
I thought of you immediately.
Don't like it.
It's like they're drafting another Marquise Brown.
Don't need that.
I actually think Kadarius is better than Marquise.
Way better.
Similar player, though.
It's too similar, and Lamar Jackson doesn't need that.
He needs a guy with a catch radius.
I really hope Rashad Bateman somehow slips.
Yeah.
But
I think he might.
You
know what I've seen?
Yeah.
3 mock drafts today, not like the most credible sources or anything, but Devontae Smith at 15.
Whew. I've seen that before, too.
And it's been trade backs, like the Lions trading with the
Patriots up
and then
for
he falls,
QB.
Yeah, and then he falls into their lap. But they took Slater at the Eagles spot instead of Devontae Smith. So it makes you wonder, like, is Devontae having some concerns of his own amongst NFL GMs?
I think the weight thing is really just personal. Like, I think how you view that, because I saw Stephon Diggs came out and put his own little spin on it. He was like, look, he did this all at 170.
Yeah.
Like, that's impressive.
Speaking of Stephon Diggs, he said he wasn't changed. Did you see the number change?
Is that official?
Yeah.
Wow. Is he going to 1?
No, he said he won't because all the fans already bought the jersey.
Oh,
but I
nice.
think it's going to be sick for, like, incoming. Like, Elijah Moore rocking 8 in the NFL.
That would be awesome.
Legendary. Yeah, so the news came out today. I want to get, like, the exact numbers that
Corners are going to be going to 8, like Jalen Ramsey. Is he switching? Derrick Henry in 2 would be awesome.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So receivers can wear 1 through 49, and then 80 through 89. Quarterbacks are still 1 through 19.
Yeah.
Running backs are the same as receivers, 1 through 49, and 80 now through 89. So
So
imagine
Ty
like a running
Montgomery's
back.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wearing like 85, or a running back like wearing 3.
That's
Like
going to
sick.
be awesome.
Like Todd Gurley back to 3 would be like
Yeah.
nuts. I saw a lot of people didn't like this. I think it's gonna be fun.
I think it's going to be fun. I think it stinks for, like, if a star player switches.
Yeah, that's true because the
Jerseys.
jersey. Yeah.
But, I mean, it's kind of a one-of-a-kind jersey now.
Yeah.
If, like,
I want Rondale to rock 4.
that would be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DBs are 1 through 49 now.
Love that.
Single digit DBs is pretty swaggy.
Yeah, if there's a DB wearing 49, though, I mean, there probably are some, but you don't really see them much, but it's not something I need to see.
I think one of the coolest ones is linebackers can wear single digits.
Yes, that's so awesome.
Roquan Smith.
Yep.
That like if you're
You better change to that instantly. If you're a middle linebacker and you're not wearing single digits, I don't know what you're doing.
That's sick.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's pretty sweet.
Patrick Queen back to 8.
All right, so I feel like me and you,
Yeah.
when it comes to the draft, have very similar opinions. But I feel like the place we're differing right now is the wide receiver position. Obviously, the top 3 are the top 3. You have Smith, then Waddle still?
No.
You have Waddle and Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have Smith and Waddle. So I still think Smith is a fantastic receiver.
Me too.
And you having Smith above or Waddle above Smith isn't a knock on Smith, and me having Smith above Waddle isn't a knock on Waddle. Both are really, really good prospects. At 4 is where we start to differ. So your receiver 4 is Bateman.
Correct.
Why?
My receiver 4 is Bateman because I think his route tree is really translatable to the NFL.
That's true.
And
I call him Baby Slant Boy. I think he's a lot like Mike Thomas.
I think he is a lot like Mike Thomas. I think he could be a little more versatile, but I think Mike Thomas is versatile. I just think it's the way they use him that really just forces him.
Also, just like he has the worst personality ever, which makes it easier to.
That's not where it makes him easier to clown.
Yeah.
But Rashad Bateman, I mean, no personality issues to date, so that's nice. But I think that 40 might be a little bit questionably low, but he does have really, really good quickness. Not like some of the guys in the top 3, but I think Rashad Bateman, he just looks like an NFL player. He gets off the line really fast, beats press. Ball skills in 50-50 positions is incredible. And I think he is more in the top 4, making that a top 4 group instead of having it be like a second tier.
That's fair. I'm the same way with my receiver 4. I think he's a part of the top 4, and it's Elijah Moore. Fast riser for me. And we've talked about this on the radio show. I watched him throughout the season. I thought he was really good. And I texted you, and I was like, is he the best receiver in the class? Obviously, he's not, but that's how high I was on him during the regular season. And I just love the footwork, great route runner, much like Rashad gets off the line. Doesn't necessarily have the catch radius that Rashad does, but I think compared to the other gadget guys like Kadarius Toney or Rondale Moore in this class, I think that he's just a much more pure receiver in his route running and his hands. He goes up and gets the football. He's not afraid at, 5'9"?
Yeah.
So a really, really fun prospect for me, and obviously the speed is there as well. I think that he might end up being like the Justin Jefferson of last year where you have this group of 4 and then Elijah ends up being like the best out of all of them.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Elijah Moore, he's my wide receiver 6 or 5B right now behind Toney, and I think they are pretty similar players. I like Toney a little more than a gadget guy, but I think he was used at Florida.
Yeah.
But I think Kadarius Toney and Elijah Moore both really good route runners. Elijah Moore is probably a little bit better of a route runner. I just think Kadarius Toney, his just pure speed is awfully frightening to play against.
Yeah. I have Kadarius at 5 ahead of Bateman.
Okay.
And it's only because of the athleticism. For certain teams when you're mocking, much like the Ravens, if Kadarius and Rashad are on the board, I'm taking Rashad.
Yes.
For what he brings to the table. But if it's like the Packers and Rashad and Kadarius are on the board, you already have the Devontae Adams. Now you bring in the gadget type, speed guy, Kadarius Toney.
And I know we mentioned getting rid of the top 3 kind of narrative, but I do think that outside of the top 3, that's when you start getting team selective with those draft picks.
Yeah.
I think you look at Bateman, Toney, Moore, and maybe if Bateman's gone, you bring Terrace Marshall into that conversation.
Yeah.
Not saying Terrace Marshall's on their level, but if you're a team like the Baltimore Ravens.
He did run a 4.3 apparently.
No, I guarantee you he didn't. But
unofficially.
Yeah, and hand timed at LSU, and they probably dropped it by 7 seconds.
Yeah, everyone ran a 4.3 at LSU this year. It was
absolutely
nuts.
wild. Tony, Moore, and Marshall. Like if you're a team late that needs like a bigger receiving threat, obviously you would take a guy like Marshall, who's 6'3", caught a bunch of touchdowns for Joe Burrow. So outside of that top three, I think it gets team selective.
That's why I really like, and what I've been mocking a lot is Elijah to the Colts.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that you drafted Pittman last year, he's your big guy, the guy that can, hides in the big catch radius, can go up and get the football, and then you bring in like this speed demon that was supposed to be Paris Campbell, that obviously didn't work out, and I think Elijah Moore is a far cleaner cut receiver. Yeah. I think that would be a sick pairing in Indy with Pittman and Elijah.
I think Hilton, if he gets receivers put behind him, or in front of him, excuse me, I think he can really work.
And you saw it at the back half of the season last year.
Once Pittman started emerging, it helped Hilton.
Yeah.
And it helped Rivers. So I think now with Wentz, having a veteran receiver, a young emerging guy like Pittman, bringing in a rookie could be awesome. And I think Indy, I'm seeing a lot of mocks giving them O-linemen. I think
they do need a left tackle.
They do, but I think they could call it a rest if one of those top receivers is there.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so the main beef of probably will be the title of the video, is reacting to Peter Schrager's mock draft. So we'll get into that and then talk a little more draft after. But I was looking for something to do as the main part of the show today,
main
and
course.
I was looking at horrible mock drafts usually, and this actually isn't that horrible. There's just some very surprising picks. So I thought we would look at this. It should be fun to react to. You haven't seen it. This is a blind reaction for Max, so it should be a little more fun for him. And we'll get through the first three: Lawrence, Wilson, Jones. So good start.
Lawrence, Wilson, Jones is probably going to happen. Not if I was a GM of the Niners, but I guess John Lynch is probably a better GM than I am.
I don't even think it's John Lynch. I think it is Shanahan, because when you look at the quarterbacks he's had success with and gone to the playoffs and Super Bowl with, it's Kirk Cousins, it's Matt Ryan, it's Jimmy Garoppolo, and Mac Jones fits the build out of all of those. So for what he wants to run, I think, which is a run-first team, and we see it all the time, or play action, get Kittle out in space, get Ayuk and Debo the ball in the backfield, I think that's his main point of his offense. So when you have a guy that doesn't turn the football over, has a great football IQ, knows how to manage the game, and Jimmy Garoppolo is that, but I think Mac Jones is that at a higher level. I think that's exactly what they want out of their quarterback in their offense.
And I'm seeing a lot of people saying but they want to run first offense. Why don't they take Fields? Well, I think there's a misconception with Fields being a mobile, fast quarterback does not mean he can run San Francisco's offense, because I actually don't like that fit. Because Fields doesn't run a lot of play action at Ohio State. It's a lot of sit back, curls, deep balls, flat routes, where San Francisco runs a really aggressively fast offense, personnel wise, but they don't really stretch the field until, they're all right, Debo, go run a streak and score. I think Fields is actually, outside of Lawrence and Wilson, if you're talking about Jones, Lance, and Fields, I think Fields would be the worst fit in San Francisco.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Wilson would be the best. But back to the IQ thing, not that Fields is a stupid guy, but Ohio State's offense is simplified, and that's why there's so many knocks on him right now, because it is a one-read offense. So that's not what San Fran's looking for. They're looking for a guy that isn't going to turn the football over, isn't going to force the football anywhere, understands the game, lets the game come to him, and that's exactly Mac Jones. So you see where San Francisco's coming from if they do end up taking Mac Jones.
Steve Sarkisian said he's never installed more with a quarterback ever than Mac Jones.
Just a really, really smart guy.
Yeah.
So at 4, we have a trade.
Okay.
It's going to be the New England Patriots trading up. Let's see what they give up.
Yeah.
It's going to be this year's first rounder and second rounder, plus next year's first and third. Wow. So a huge haul. Atlanta would accept that trade.
Absolutely. Especially from an AFC team.
We really don't see Bill Belichick ever trade up in the draft. We see him trade down quite a bit.
We never really see him spend money in free agency, but
that's
here
true.
We are.
We talked about that last time. Could definitely, it's a new era. It's kind of
chasing Tom.
Yeah, fuck you, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Justin Fields to the Patriots at 4.
The word on the street is they love Fields. So I guess it makes sense to me. The mock I've been kind of working with, I have that trade at 7. So I definitely could see it.
I have the Broncos moving up to 7. And I'm a Broncos fan, and I don't even like Fields or Lance all that much, where I think they could be the savior of the franchise. But I'm at the point where I hate Drew Lock so much.
Oh, we know.
That it's fine if we trade out for a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I
Denver.
want something new.
I think it's gonna play out in front of Denver. That's my prediction. I don't really know if Denver's gonna move.
We're gonna sign Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah,
I'm gonna cry.
definitely didn't.
It's better than Lockhart. It's better.
Made a little post about that one. But yeah, I think Fields in New England wouldn't be the worst thing ever, and I think he could learn a lot from Cam Newton. They are kind of similar.
Definitely, and obviously Bill's a fantastic coach. So good
It'll
spot
work.
to be in if you're Fields. At 5, Sewell's still on the board, but this is something we've seen more and more. Jamar Chase to the Cincinnati Bengals, reuniting with his college quarterback Joe Burrow.
Don't mind it.
Where he had the best season out of any receiver ever.
Yeah, it's pretty simple there. I think if they listen to Burrow, they take Chase, and if they, want to not run the risk of having Burrow get smashed again, they would take Sewell, but it could go either way.
It'd be so much fun if there was some way for the Vikings to get Chase.
That would be awesome.
Chase and Jefferson. That was the most fun I've ever had watching a college football team.
Terrace Marshall and Thaddeus Moss also made it that much better.
Yeah. I was at the Oklahoma semifinal where Joe Burrow threw 7 touchdowns.
They stomped on them.
Justin Jefferson caught 4. Jamar Chase definitely had 1.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. It was a horrible football game, but it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah. That was... First half of that was fun to watch on TV.
Yeah. At 6, here is a very interesting pick. So Sewell's still on the board, but he goes Slater.
Whoa.
So not Pitts, not Sewell, he goes Slater.
I've seen this actually a little bit, and the reasoning, I think, I'm going to go ahead and try to get into Peter Schrager's mind here. I think that some people are thinking that the reason they moved back from 3 to 12 to 6 is because they want somebody at 3 that would be a reach, and that they know they probably can't get at 12, and so they're going to move to 6 to get him. And people are saying it's probably not Sewell, because he could go higher, and if they wanted Sewell, they wouldn't move behind Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the reasoning for Slater comes in. I just don't think that player is Slater. I think that player is either Kyle Pitts or Sewell, because we saw that when that trade was happening...
Or even one of the Bama boys.
Yeah. But we saw when that trade was happening, the rumor that Chase was going to Cincinnati came out, so that's why they were like, okay, we can still get Sewell. That's my thinking, but Slater, I guess, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, and he even says here, because obviously he's more connected than we can ever dream of being.
Yeah.
He says, most mock drafts have Penei Sewell coming off the board before Slater, but a few teams have told me that it's the other way around. So he's obviously hearing things. That he's not, making this up.
No, this is credible.
Yeah, so Slater at 6 is interesting.
Yeah,
to say the least. Jinx. Can't talk or else you get hit by a bus. All right, at 7, Kyle Pitts to the Arizona Cardinals.
Whoa.
Trade. This is why I hate this, because Arizona doesn't have any picks this year.
Yeah.
Let me get the exact number of picks they have.
It's not Seattle. Seattle's got 3.
Yeah.
But that's... No.
Yeah. Let's see.
I mean, Kingsbury would love that.
Oh, no, he would definitely love it.
I mean, you just have to wonder if it's worth giving up your draft.
Yes.
For Pitts.
So you're giving up a first rounder. I think it's a third rounder this year, or a second rounder this year, and a first rounder next year. He had. They have a 1, a 2, so he's giving up that 2, that 1. Well, he's obviously swapping the 1, and then a first rounder next year. So this would have them picking at 7, right?
Yeah.
5 in the 5th round, the 6th round, the 7th round, and the 7th round.
Turning into the Rams.
Yeah. So the Cardinals are not at a place where they can give up this draft capital like the Rams are.
The Rams were in the Super Bowl, and they were like, okay, let's do this. And they tried, didn't get anywhere, and now they're like, okay, screw it, we're trading for Stafford. The Rams don't believe in drafting, but they're at a level where you can do that. The Cardinals weren't even a playoff team. So I don't think that's a realistic trade. But
Panthers fans also hate this trade.
Yeah, that's bye-bye Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. So I think he could go. I mean, I think he will go in the top 6. That's my guess. I still have him at 4. I think the Falcons are going to be looking for a trade, but won't be able to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
Or get what they want out of it, and we'll just end up staying at 4 and picking Pitts. But I mean, if he falls to 7, we could definitely see some movement.
Yeah.
For Kyle Pitts.
Completely agree.
I think he's the 3rd best player in the class.
I have him number 2.
Over Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson is lower on mine.
Where?
9.
Wow. Yeah. I thought you were high on Wilson.
I am high on Wilson for quarterbacks, but I'm really high on guys like Parsons, the wide receiver class.
Yeah,
So
that's fair. I have Lawrence, Wilson, Pitts
makes sense.
on my big board. Yeah, I think that I'm the highest person on Kyle Pitts, on Zach Wilson ever.
Chris Sims.
That's true. I don't have him above Lawrence. I think he'll be better than Lawrence. I just can't in good conscience. But
We both agreed on that, but like not ready to take the public shame on that.
Well, we just did.
Oops.
Yeah. All right, at 8.
Put a Zach Wilson jersey up there.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy one. That's a swaggy jersey to have.
Yeah, it
All
is.
these are fake, by the way. Just want to get that out of the way. You can't buy
DH Gate.
Yeah, you can't buy a Rondell Moore jersey. This one's pretty sick. It's also fake. This one's real. This is a real Baker Mayfield Oklahoma jersey. The rest, you can see the stitching.
Seams give it away.
Yeah, the
But
cross seams.
They are so nice.
They are. Still high quality. Shout out DH Gate. Pay us money. At 8, Penny Sewell makes sense to the Panthers.
It does. They have to protect their new QB, Sam Darnold. I actually think he's going to succeed, and
I
Sewell
only
makes
think he's
sense.
going to succeed
Joe
because
Brady.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's nuts. I mean, like, you look at it, and it is college football, but
He's
when
a
you
wizard.
go from a third-string quarterback at Ohio State, transfers to LSU, doesn't really do all that much his first year at LSU, and then you bring in Joe Brady, and he becomes literally the best college quarterback of all time. You're doing something right, and the Panthers' offense, they didn't play, like, great as a team. McCaffrey was out, but, like, as a whole, got so much better. Like,
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel having 1,000 all-purpose yards, where he was so misused before that, just shows you, like, starts to show you
He
what the
brought
Panthers.
Curtis Samuel back to running back. I never
Exactly.
thought that was going to be a thing. Like, you saw that at Ohio State. Sorry to bring that up in your house because I know Curtis Samuel is a little Michigan bias here, but I know.
But my dad is a football team fan, so
Okay, there
big,
it is.
big Curtis Samuel fan.
Big Curtis Samuel fan now.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Darnold will be good, and getting him a left tackle certainly helps that cause.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. At 9, I like this. We didn't even move, but we get Trey Lance.
Totally
I'd be fine
can
with
see it.
I hate Drew Lock.
I think Trey Lance could be anywhere from like QB5 in the future to QB2.
Yeah.
And
In the future, he's not saying
in the
draft.
future, not right now, not immediately, not rookie season, not second year, but grow there. And I think Trey Lance, could succeed in Denver. I don't really think you can go wrong with these type quarterbacks, and I think it makes sense.
But you can go wrong with Pat Shurmur.
That's yes, and I don't believe in Pat Shurmur at all, which is why taking QB is a little nerve-wracking to me for the Broncos, and I think they should go Parsons or
I think we
explore
should
a trade
trade
back.
down and get Parsons.
I think you should trade down with
Or
a team
get
like
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
yeah, trade down like I was gonna say 13, but that would never happen. Maybe 15 if New England didn't already trade up in this month.
Yeah.
But
We'll see.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Trey Lance because, again, I'll keep saying it. I hate Drew Lock.
yeah,
But he's going to go off this year. Like, watch it. I'd be happy.
yeah, I know you. Would.
I wouldn't mind. I'd bite my tongue and say I always loved Drew Lock. But right now, I think that I've told you this on the radio show, but right now I think that the Broncos are like a hell of a football team.
They have one of the best rosters in the NFL.
You just don't have a quarterback,
Yeah.
and it's going to make us go like 7-8. No, what is it now? 7-10.
I hate it.
I hate it. All right, at 11, both tackles
10?
are off the board. Did I skip 10?
Yeah.
Start 10. We can skip.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. At 11, both tackles are off the board. Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle still on the board, right? I just want to confirm that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has the Giants going Parsons.
I guess it makes sense. I mean, look at their linebackers, and you have Lorenzo Carter, who I think is going to emerge again. And then Blake Martinez is a little more limited in the middle. Parsons can spread it out wide and come in.
I don't hate the pick. I think
No.
the Giants have way more pressing needs.
I agree.
I think I've talked to you, we live in an area where there's 1,000 Giants fans all
It's
around us.
so annoying.
It's the worst, and I've talked to them, and they're like, our receiving core's great. We have Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton with...
Slayton's a wide receiver 4.
Yeah,
in the NFL.
with Kenny Galladay. I think Galladay's a hell of a player. There's still no one that can create separation, including Kenny Galladay. The reason why Kenny Galladay is so good is because he has the big catch radius, and because when there's a contested catch, he's so good at getting the football. But Daniel Jones is not an accurate quarterback, and if you think he is, you're stupid. So when you have a quarterback that needs a player to create separation, and you have Jalen Waddle on the board, and both the tackles are off. I understand wanting to protect him, and both the tackles are off the board. I don't understand how you don't go Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle and the Giants would be absurd. I don't really like the Smith fit.
Yeah,
But-
no, it's based off team at this point,
Yeah.
and I think that Jalen Waddle to the Giants makes way too much sense, especially with both the tackles off the board. I mock Jalen Phillips here. I think edge is a bigger need than linebacker.
Edge is a way bigger need than
You
linebacker.
have
I
no
think
one that can rush the
receiver
passer
edge
from the
corner
edge.
for the Giants.
Yeah, I mean,
And I know they
Leonard
brought in
Williams.
Adoree Jackson. I like their corner room. I don't really believe in Darnay Holmes.
Big play Darnell.
Yeah. UCLA guys don't really
No, they don't.
work.
I like Ed. I mean, I love Leonard Williams. I think he's a great player. He's a
Inside.
great interior defensive pass rusher, but you need someone that can come off the edge. It's the name of the game on defense in today's NFL, and they have no one. So taking a player like Jalen Phillips at 11 makes sense to me, or trading back also makes sense to me.
And look at your division. I mean, you got Hurts who can move.
Yeah.
You got Dak who can move.
Maybe not.
That's true. Maybe
It's
not
just
anymore.
a cramp.
It's just a cramp. Just like Lamar Jackson.
And you have Taylor Heineke that can move.
He will run all over you. Ran
You
all
have
over a
Ryan
Super Bowl winning
Fitzpatrick
defense.
that can move.
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is underrated.
Ryan Fitzpatrick can move the edge rusher.
I like him.
Yeah.
At 12, this also is just a sick pickup for the Eagles. They go Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, love that. I think Jalen Waddle, back with a former Bama QB, would be a great pick. I think they need receiver the most, and it makes sense to me.
At 13, Christian Darrisaw, something that we've both mocked, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I've mocked it before. Don't really have it. I've Darrisaw a little later. But
Who have you had going at 13?
13, I like Elijah Vera Tucker.
I do like that too.
I love the fit at 14.
I hate putting him at 13 because it's such a good fit at 14.
Yeah, it is. And I've been tempted to. Usually have the Chargers trading up and down, but if they're to stay here, I like the Darrisaw pick. I think also wide receiver could be an underrated need for them because Keenan Allen across from Mike Williams. If you put a
Devontae
third player in there,
Smith is on the board at 13, how do you not take him?
yeah. Tell me how you like this at 47. I think it is in the second round that they have. I have Rondell Moore.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love Rondell anywhere.
yeah.
I have his jersey.
You like him in the AFC West with your Broncos?
Honestly, yeah. Trade Hamler. At 14, Elijah Vera Tucker's on the board. He goes Kwity Paye.
Nope. No. I do not like Kwity Paye.
And the narrative used to be that Paye was the edge one, which was fine. But now it seems like Jalen Phillips is like widely regarded as the edge one. So if you're going to put an edge at 14, I feel like it has to be Jalen Phillips that can play alongside Daniil Hunter, similar builds, great athletes in both of them. But getting Kwity Paye, who's just a run stopper, I don't really understand.
And Zimmer said this was his worst defense ever after Kamara almost like broke the touchdown record against them.
Yeah, 6?
Yeah, in the Christmas shoes.
Quite disappointing.
And I think
They just lost their corner, too. Maybe they go corner.
yeah, defense wouldn't surprise me at all after those comments. Vera Tucker's such a good fit, but I just don't see Paye here.
I would love a trade down for the Vikings.
Yeah, me too. I don't really even have Paye as like a guaranteed first rounder.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so we had the Falcons trade back with the Patriots.
Horn.
They go... No. They don't go Horn. Take a guess.
I mean, is it wild?
It's Kellen... No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
It's Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Okay.
I don't hate it. Deion
Me
Jones is
neither.
a good football player. I think that...
They're a little similar. But
Yeah. I think Koramoah is... I mean, you do... Like, and you're going in a division where you have, like, Devin Whites, and you might want to start to replicate that. So,
yeah,
Koramoah...
Quan Alexander was
Yeah.
just in your division, so
Koramoah is a fantastic player. He's in my top 11.
yeah,
He's my 11th
I like
prospect
him
on
a
my big
lot.
board.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
And I think in Atlanta, I think Karamoa would work. I don't really necessarily think it's the best pick given who's available.
You would
but
go Horn?
I would go Horn. I like Horn as corner 2 or 3. Don't really care. Karamoa is my number 12 player, so similar there. And I think if you're just going best defensive player, which is what Atlanta might just do at that point, then it's the right pick. So.
At 16, this is the dream scenario for the Detroit Lions. You trade back, gain a first rounder next year, gain a second rounder, and take the player you probably would have taken at 7, Devontae Smith.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen.
But if it
It's
does
a hell
happen,
of a trade.
it's a hell of a trade these Lions have been putting on in the last couple
I don't
years.
see how he goes past... I mean, even the Vikings could take it.
Yeah, I mean they got a haul for
Chargers,
Stafford, and now this.
Giants. Even the Panthers could address wide receiver.
Goff is smiling.
Yeah. I mean, you need a weapon.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think the Lions should trade back, and they probably will. Unless it's to maybe 9 or even 15, then you could still maybe get a wide receiver.
Yeah.
If they trade back to 9, I think that's the ideal scenario for them.
Uh-huh.
Because you gain a little draft capital because that pick is going to be so coveted. And also you get Goff a weapon. But their starting receiver is Quintez Cephas.
That's just... I actually like Cephas, not like
as a
that.
receiver
Not
one.
like that.
No.
But, like, Cephas is going to be a
He was
name
fun to watch
that
at
football
Wisconsin,
fans are
I'll
going to
give you
talk
that.
about. But, whoa.
Right now,
Smith would be
Cephas
nice.
is a top 20 fantasy pick. Dude,
Yikes.
actually, I want this to stay the same because then Hawkinson will go off in fantasy next year.
They have Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift.
They're going to put Agnew at receiver at this rate.
They don't have Agnew anymore.
Where is he?
I don't know.
I think he went to Jacksonville, actually.
I think so.
He played with Urban, I think, somewhere along his career.
He is in Jacksonville now. Wow. Yeah,
So
they really
don't
don't
have
have
Agnew.
They don't have anybody.
Where's McKissick at nowadays?
J.D. McKissick?
Is he still on the football team?
Couldn't tell you. Google could tell me. Yeah, he is.
All right.
Bring him back to Seattle. That was kind of fun.
I think the Seahawks are going to be bad next year.
I agree.
I don't think they're going to be good.
Same with the Titans.
Oh, I don't know about that. Actually, their defense is kind of... They don't have a secondary.
Nope.
Butler left. Dory left. They didn't re-sign... who's the other one? The slot guy. Desmond King.
Yeah, they lost Clowney, Jonnu, and Corey Davis.
Yeah.
And Arthur Smith.
They retained Jayon Brown. I actually love Jayon Brown. Big fan.
Great job.
I wanted the Broncos to get him so bad. All right, at 17, kind of a shocker, but also it's the Las Vegas Raiders, so I don't hate it at all.
Anything can happen.
I think it actually may as well be locked in as this pick.
Zayvon Collins?
It's a corner.
Oh.
And it's not J.C. Horn or Caleb Farley.
Greg Newsome.
Greg Newsome.
I like Greg Newsome. I have him in the first round.
This is what he says. This
Yeah.
could be higher than other mock drafts have Newsome going, but I think teams are higher on the Northwestern corner than the rest of the draft media world. That was his take.
I think Greg Newsome, I have him right now alternating between pick 23 and 24 and giving Najee Harris to the other team.
Yeah.
But I do like Greg Newsome a lot.
I think Newsome solidified himself as a first rounder.
Yeah, I do too. He's my corner 4.
And it's because of the Justin Fields tape.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
He balled out.
Yeah, Justin Fields didn't play so hot. Jamar Johnson also loves Justin Fields, safety from Indiana. But I think...
I've seen him going high, by the way.
Yeah, me too. I've seen him early too. But I think Newsome over Farley would surprise me. Not so much over Farley. I could see him slipping, but hey, I guess if the inside world likes Newsome, it makes sense.
All right, so at 18, he had the Dolphins ignore receiver, Go Slater at 6. He does not take an edge. Jalen Phillips is on the board. He does not take a receiver.
Thank God.
He takes Najee Harris.
Holy, I don't like Gaskin as an RB1, and Najee Harris is an incredible
But I think
player.
Etienne is just so attainable or even Carter.
Yeah, or Williams.
Yeah.
Gainwell, guys like that. But I guess if you're going to jump on Najee, I would trade back. But 23 is the first pick where Najee's threatened to go.
Yeah.
So
I've literally had him at 24 with the Steelers forever.
Yeah. I think if they want to beat the rush and if they really like Najee, go right ahead. It wouldn't be a terrible pick. And looking back on it, I'd say if we were this time next year and they have Najee Harris, he'll probably have been a successful pick.
Yeah, valid. At 19, it's the Washington football team. I think they have way bigger pressing needs than this. I don't like this pick at all. This is the first one where I'm really upset about. Trayvon Boehrig.
No.
You hit with Cameron Curl last year.
Yeah. Really late, too.
Yeah, 7th round.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good player.
Cam Curl could have won Defensive Rookie of the Year if he wasn't a 7th round pick.
And if he wasn't teammates with the guy that did.
Yeah. But I think Cam Curl was, as much as somebody would like to get in my face about this, the best rookie safety last year.
Yeah.
And yes, that includes Jeremy Chin.
Chin balled out.
Chin balled out, but that one game blew over the hype a little bit.
He scored 3 touchdowns.
In 30 seconds or something crazy. But I don't think Moehrig is that good of a fit in Washington, and they have much bigger needs.
I think tackle, is the easiest smart pick.
Yeah.
You could,
Cosme there.
Yeah, Cosme. Taven Jenkins. He even has Elijah Vera Tucker still on the board.
Oh, that feels like a no-brainer.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, there's big
help
names.
Gibson and whoever the heck your quarterback is.
I hope they get a quarterback.
That would be entertaining. I could see them moving up to 8.
I could, yeah. 7.
I have 8. Yeah.
Panthers trade back now.
Yeah, I could see Panthers trade back, find Farley.
That's true. It's certainly true. At 20,
Certainly true.
kill yourself. At 20, Kadarius Toney to the Chicago Bears.
Don't mind it, but it's a little similar to Mooney for me.
Yeah, very similar to Mooney.
But
also, like, you could argue the other
They need
receiver is similar
weapons.
to A-Rob.
yeah, Bateman's a little similar to A-Rob, but I'd rather have a similar player to A-Rob than to Mooney.
I also think that if you put Mooney on the outside, just burning people, A-Rob on the outside because he's just a physical threat, and then Bateman in the slot with his route running ability, I think that would be kind of a fun fit if you want to
I think
go
Komet's
Bateman.
going to be real good, too.
Yeah. I was high on Cole last year.
Yeah, me too. But he's my tight end, too, I think, behind Troutman. Actually, 3, Harrison Bryant.
You were very high in Troutman.
Yeah,
Bryant
I love
played
Harrison
well this
Bryant,
year.
too. But,
As tight end 3.
yeah,
I think the football team should trade for Njoku.
I think Jacksonville should trade for Njoku.
One of the teams has to.
Yeah. There's a lot of teams without tight ends. But I don't really love that fit. But I also think tackle would be a better pick, and Vera Tucker's still there.
Yeah. I think 19, 20, 21, the Colts, all tackle could go.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of 21, oh, and by the way, J.C. Horn fell this far, so any of those teams, I think that the football team could still use a corner after losing Darby. They brought in William Jackson.
Yeah.
They still need a CB3. Fuller is a good player. So Horn being available, I feel like that's BPA at that point.
Yeah.
They could go in that direction, but the Colts got a steal in J.C. Horn at 21.
That's an incredible pick. I think they brought Rhodes back. But building that secondary is very important. You just saw Trevor Lawrence join your division. No idea what's going to happen with Houston. And guarding guys like A.J. Brown and stuff like that. I think you just got to look at the teams around you. And Horn's really good. Best press man corner in the draft. Don't know how he falls to 21, but if he does, they better scoop him up.
Great athlete, too.
Yeah.
At 22, this is really interesting because I think that this is just like a horrible take.
Okay.
The Titans signed Bud Dupree. They have Harold Landry. You have Jeffrey Simmons up the middle. I would say your pass rush is your least biggest need on defense. Linebacker's really good. You still have Jayon, Rashawn Evans.
Lost
really
Clowney,
good
but that's
players.
not
Lost Will
terrible.
Compton.
Yeah.
And then your secondary is so bad that with Caleb Farley on the board, how do you not go Caleb Farley? He has Jalen Phillips.
I don't like that.
I don't like it at all.
Tennessee's got so many places they could go. Heck, they could go wide receiver here.
Yeah.
But just building that defense. But I don't really see where Jalen Phillips fits in on this defense.
Yeah. I don't know either.
Not a fan
Neither am I.
of that pick. Of Jalen Phillips, yes.
I'm a
but
big
that
Harold
pick.
Landry guy, and obviously Bud Dupree has had 2 really good back-to-back seasons. I think he would have been one of the top leading sack leaders again this year if it weren't for the injury. And people seem to be not worried about him coming back from that injury at all. So I think that edge is, again, your least biggest need. You don't have a secondary.
You don't, and there's still a good corner. So I don't know.
They'll probably end up re-signing Desmond King, if I had to guess. He's still a free agent floating out there, I think. Should probably fact-check that, right?
Yeah, I think the corners are pretty much gone. But
Oh, no, the Texans signed him.
ooh, interdivision.
Kind of a nice pickup.
Yes.
I missed that. All right, still, you don't have him.
Yeah.
Regardless, point still holds.
Yeah.
Even more so. At 23, guess. Just guess. You'll never get it.
23?
Jets.
Jets. Like Rondell Moore or something crazy.
Correct.
Wow.
Wow, that was a hell of a guess.
Hell
hell of a guess.
Yeah. Thank you.
Props
thank
to
you.
you.
Don't like the pick at all. It's like Jameson Crowder.
The one thing that he
gadget.
says, he doesn't even compare it to like having the 49ers or former DC, but he says Deebo Samuel, and I agree like a little because he can play in the backfield, can do those sweeps. He's not nearly as physical as Deebo is.
No.
More of a
Deebo will toss you.
more of a agility type, agile type player.
Yeah.
I think that Rondale is a fantastic player. He's my favorite player in the class. I have his jersey. I've loved him since he became Ohio State's dad back in 2018. But To the Jets at 23, I don't think it's worth it.
I don't think it's worth it, and I don't really think
And
he's a
Aziz is
first-round
still on the
talent.
board.
Yeah, I don't think it's a first-round talent, and I don't think he's worthy of that pick, especially given the fit.
This one also doesn't make sense to me because the Steelers have corners in need. Caleb Farley's on the board. Tackle is far and away your biggest offensive line need. Obviously, Patsy retired too, but who was the back? They had some sort of backup. But he goes Landon Dickerson.
No, I don't like that either. I mean, I guess you're replacing.
Edge is a need.
You're replacing
Aziz-
Pouncey.
Yes.
So, and you saw how that affected them in the playoff game, so it could happen.
But tackle's such a more important
Yeah.
position that I feel like you have to go tackle.
It is, but
with
those
the
center
loss of Dylan
struggles we
Nueva.
saw in the playoffs, like with Baltimore against Buffalo and stuff like that, I could see Dickerson going to one of those two teams.
Did Buffalo beat Baltimore?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teron Johnson and Lamar Jackson came together and beat the Ravens together. Tyler Huntley outplayed Lamar Jackson.
Lamar just needed to go to the bathroom.
Again.
At 25, I love this pick, and I'm getting high on him just because if he goes to a good coaching staff, I don't necessarily like the team, but I like him going in the first round. Jason Owe
Jason Owe is real good.
to the Jags.
Yeah, I think he should be a first-round pick. I think somebody ought to take a chance on him in the first round. Not that he isn't a near first-round talent, but there might be better edge rushers. There are better edge rushers. Aziz Ojulari
Just
is
for
my
the
top
record,
guy. Yeah.
if Aziz is on the board, and even Jalen Phillips is still on, all the edge rushers are still on the board, I think Jason Owe has a really, really good shot to be the first off the board at 23 if all the guys are still on the board. I think Saleh with Jason Owe makes way too much sense because that is, the best defensive coach that can develop the talent, and if you give him that raw athlete, I think it is, a match made in heaven, and he'll be so good.
Jason Owe might have the highest potential of the edge rushers.
Yeah.
So.
Ran a 4.36.
Yeah, that might be a legit time, too.
I think it is. I mean, he's really, really good.
Yeah.
Athletically.
Yes.
At 26, is he still on the board? But he goes Rousseau to the Browns.
Oh, I have that. And I think they need somebody across from Myles Garrett. I think Rousseau could be the guy that front offices start lobbying for late in the first round.
I think Rousseau, there's a really real chance we see him fall out of the first round.
I agree. I agree too.
This is a guy that was a top 5 pick at the start of the year.
Yeah, he shouldn't have opted out, and he's gonna taste that with the lack of a signing bonus.
I mean,
but
he probably had his reasons.
yeah,
Can't
I'm not
necessarily
really
say it.
questioning it. Just from a strictly football standpoint, I think that Rousseau's opt-out decision definitely hurt him, but I still think he could go first round late too, or early too.
All right, at 27, any guesses?
Bateman's still there, right?
Yes.
It's I think Bateman, Vera Tucker, or Ojulari. And now I'm nervous. If it's Terrace Marshall,
It's not.
somebody's
It's
got
a
to
defensive player.
Oh, it's not a safety. Better not be a corner.
It's a corner.
Why?
Caleb Farley.
All right, sure. Jimmy Smith is going to be gone soon.
How old is he?
But
38?
Jimmy Smith is not 38. I think Jimmy Smith's fairly younger than people think.
Not really. Does he just look old? He has to be in his 30s. There's no way he isn't.
He's 32.
Okay. Yeah.
But Peters and Humphrey is so good, and I'm kind of starting to be a fan of Anthony Averett. But and Tavon
I don't
Young.
even know who that is.
Yeah, he's Bama.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Tavon Young is
Your
one
secondary
of
is
their.
literally Bama.
Yeah, the secondary is really good, and I just don't know if that's where they need to address. I mean, Farley's really good, and don't get me wrong, I'll say whatever I want right now, but if the Ravens were to take Farley at 27, I would lose my mind in a good way.
Good way, yeah.
And
He's a
similar to
great
what
player.
happened with Lamar Jackson, I went to bed in a fit of rage after they took Hayden Hurst, and I woke up and I opened ESPN and there was Lamar Jackson in a Ravens hat.
You didn't stay up for the trade.
No, I didn't.
Wow.
I know.
That's a hell of a story.
Yeah, it's a hell of a wake up. I
Shame
was
he
like,
sucks. Get it.
I came downstairs and I was like, "Hey, Dad, the Ravens got Lamar Jackson, and anyone MVP?
Joe Flacco's elite.
Yeah, he is Hall of Famer. Thank you.
Led the Broncos to great things.
Yeah,
All right, at 28, New Orleans Saints go with Zaven Collins. They get Zach Bond again. I don't understand this one.
that's
They literally
it's the
drafted
same
Zach
player.
Bond.
It's the same
It's
player.
like better Zach Bond.
Yeah, it's just better Zach Bond. I forgot about Zach Bond. They also questionable pick last year, Cesar Ruiz. I think it worked out. They moved him to guard.
He's a great player.
Yeah, he is.
But they more pressing needs.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again, but I just don't like it. Like, I wouldn't do the same.
Yeah, they love the offensive line. 5 out of the last 6 drafts, first line offensive lineman in the first round.
Could happen again, I think. Offensive line not that young.
At 29, this is an interesting one because the Packers have more pressing needs than this, but they go Nick Bolton.
Ooh, I've seen the Zaven Collins fit.
Yeah.
I've seen Jamin Davis here. Linebacker makes sense. Not Nick Bolton. I don't really
I think
like...
Jamin's my 20th best player in the class right now.
I don't really like Nick Bolton all that much.
I do like him, and again, I think he's very comparable to Kenneth Murray.
Yeah.
Which is why I really like the Saints fit, because I wanted Kenneth Murray to the Saints. Like, it just made too much sense.
Yeah, I thought they were going to trade up and take Queen. But they took Ruiz, and I think the Packers with a linebacker makes sense. I don't really think they're going to go wide receiver. I think everybody making mock drafts just wants to write Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers finally get help with hands.
Yeah. I mean, it's been that way for the past, 3 years.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen. So
I
think
think
it's
they
time
need
to give
tackle.
up.
I think they need corner.
They've worked their way into other needs, and I think
They'll
Kevin
probably
King on
take
a
a running
one-year
back in
contract.
there.
Kevin King on a one-year contract is a temporary solution, avoiding a need at corner.
I mean, he was really good in the playoffs.
Yeah, actually, I think kind of had a good season, except for that one
Sunlight's coming through.
absolutely terrible play. I don't think the Packers are going receiver, and I think linebacker's a good fit. I would go Jamin Davis, but Nick Bolton makes sense.
I think with no tackles being taken since Sewell at 8, you might, and AVT still here.
Darisaw went, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Darnold went at 13.
Okay.
Does he even have AVT in the first round? He doesn't.
That makes no
Blasphemous.
sense. Yeah, blasphemous, Schrager.
At 30, so the Bills brought in Jake Fromm last year. They brought in Mitch Trubisky. They drafted Josh Allen, but with Allen's struggles, he has Kellen Mond going here.
That better be a lie.
Yeah, no, it's a lie.
Okay.
Asante Samuel, someone that I've never seen in the first round.
I've seen
him high in the second.
Just one in the first round, and it was 32, I believe.
This is the first time I've ever seen him.
Whoa. There's, I think, let's see. The corners, I think
By the way-
Buffalo loves nickel, so I think
That's
Elijah
true.
Molden could be a fit, and I was surprised they didn't take Jeremy Chin.
He had a great pro day, by the way.
Or
Samuel
Kyle
did.
Duggar. Samuel did, so I guess it makes sense. I think Florida State's got a couple guys that people are forgetting about, like Tamarian Terry, wide receiver, not touching the second day, but
No.
day 3.
Maybe not even touching the third day.
Maybe not. There's a legit possibility, but I think Samuel is good, real good player, and he is currently my corner 7. I have Stokes and Molden ahead of him, but
Do you
first
have
round.
him above Aaron?
I do. We're different on Aaron Robinson,
I like Aaron.
but he's my corner 9. I have a Fetu Melifanu from Cuse above him.
I think he'll end up playing safety.
Aaron Robinson?
No, the
Oh.
other one. I'm not going to pronounce his
Malfano?
name. Yeah,
Yeah, is he Obi's brother?
I think.
Okay.
I'm not going to pronounce his name. Not worth it.
Yeah.
Don't want to embarrass myself. I'm going to Syracuse. Might see his family around.
Melifanu rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Beautifully.
Yeah.
Samuel, 30, doesn't make sense to me personally, because I think Molden would be a much better fit. Or ETN.
Yeah. It's very true. Etienne could go. I think I had that in my most recent.
Yeah.
At 31, Terrace Marshall to the Kansas City Chiefs.
They lack an X receiver.
I would love Elijah Vera Tucker at the spot. If he falls to 31.
They just better do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, you saw the O-line, and then the cuts.
I love the Tooney signing. I really do.
I like Niang, too.
Yeah, they
Connecticut boy.
seem to really like Niang. Shout out CT.
Yep. New
Shout out
Canaan High
Buchanan.
School.
Yeah.
It's the only time I'll ever give them credit for anything.
Yeah.
But,
Did you ever kick against New Canaan?
JV.
JV.
Yeah.
Did you win?
Nope.
Make any field goals?
Nope.
God, you suck.
In my debut, kicked a safety kickoff because that's legal for some reason.
Wait, what happened?
We got safetied, and
Oh, and you were the guy that kicked it.
yeah,
Oh, you don't even have to punt it in high school?
nope,
No.
it went a mile.
Word.
Yeah,
Bomb that thing.
yeah.
I think it makes, like, at this point, you're the Chiefs. You're always going to be good. Like, why not
Luxury
get more
pick.
weapons? Like, who cares?
Yeah, and they lack an X.
They do.
So I think
Although,
that's
like,
Tyreek. You don't need an X. I'm
Yeah.
not saying they need an X. I'm just saying they don't have one. And Travis Kelce operates as that for them. Doesn't line up there, but he's like
He has lined up there even though.
Yeah, he can. Lost Watkins, so I guess.
I get it, yeah.
But I like.
What'd you think about the Watkins signing?
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Cheap and good.
Gives you the ability to go edge in the first round if you wanted.
Played well with Roman.
Yeah, and then receiver.
Not that I think Roman should be employed, but.
No, he's fantastic.
No.
Great receiver coach.
Nope.
Or is he your OC now?
He's our OC.
Yeah, that's sad.
David Culley was the receiver coach and was historically bad, and then some team decided to try to make him their head coach.
Yeah, I'm stuck with Schrager. I can't talk.
Yeah. Harbaugh's a great guy.
All right, we discussed this. This is the only pick I gave you beforehand because it was just so wild.
Yeah.
At 32, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't address the defensive line. They don't address receiver. They don't address running back. They don't address secondary, although their secondary is pretty good. They go David Mills, the quarterback out of Stanford, to wrap up the first round.
Aside from the 1,000 questions, is it David or Davis?
Davis. I'm just stupid.
Okay.
Yeah. Happens.
No.
Yeah, no. I love Davis, personally. I think he has like a really high ceiling. His floor is
clarify
low.
what you mean by love Davis Mills.
Like as a day 2 quarterback.
Okay, he's my QB 8.
Yeah, okay, he's my QB 7.
All right, makes sense.
Top 5 though are guaranteed first round, so like 6 and 7 I think are day 2 picks.
Yeah, Trask is, if you've been seeing this,
6, 7, and 8 for me.
Trask is probably going to the Saints.
Yeah.
And then Mond, I've seen Mond to Seattle.
Where do you think Felipe Franks is going to go?
I actually like Felipe Franks.
Isn't he going back to Arkansas?
I don't know. I thought he was a redshirt senior.
Oh, perhaps.
No,
that was a joke. I hate Felipe Franks.
Really?
Yeah. He has the worst attitude ever.
Felipe Franks was good at Florida, got drafted to the MLB, and then died at Arkansas. But I actually think Felipe Franks is going to get drafted somewhere. So that's where I think he's going to go. The NFL.
Somewhere.
Yeah, and then I think a QB that this is completely like unrelated to a lot of things, but QB that should probably go after the top 8 guys, Ellinger, and I don't know if he's going to play quarterback.
What would he play?
All of the things.
He's not like athletic, like a Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
He does know how to take a beating. I'll give him that.
He does. Texas O-line loves him.
He's a great physical quarterback.
He's a truck.
Yeah.
It's like an 18-wheeler that throws the ball a mile.
Taysom Hill. Maybe he'll get $170.
$170 ghost dollars?
Yeah, ghost dollars.
That was funny. Ghost contract for Taysom Hill. I'm going to ask you about one player, wide receiver, that has kind of been creeping up, and I saw him mocked to the Ravens recently by a Bleacher Report mock draft.
Which round?
First.
Okay.
De'Ami Brown.
Oh, I love De'Ami.
Yeah? Where do you have him ranked?
Hold on, I have a screenshot.
Because he's my wide receiver 7.
Oh, no, it's on this computer. Hold on.
Pull that bad boy out. He's my 7 ahead of Rondell and Terrace Marshall. And then Tyler Wallace is a guy I like.
Tyler Wallace, I'm surprised as well.
Yeah. That's one of the examples of a guy I think that's just unnecessarily forgotten about.
I just simply cannot work my computer. I texted Max over the summer, have you seen De'Ami Brown?
The answer to this question was no, and then 15 minutes later it was, oh my god.
I just want that out there. I'll release a screenshot when he goes in the second round and is sick. I think he's really, really good. Absolute deep threat. I think he averaged like over 20 yards a catch in college.
Yeah.
I mean, like his deep route running, which is something we don't really emphasize all that much anymore, because like short route running is super important, especially medium, like in post, corners. Like, can you create separation on those routes? Slants. Are you able to create separation? His ability to get off the line, 1, with that elite speed, and then 2, like shake defenders deep down the field is so good. He's the ultimate deep threat in this class, and I genuinely think he might go first. I
think he might go in the first, and I don't know if he's just the ultimate deep threat. Like, I think real good deep threat, but I think you could see him. Like, I actually don't really think the Ravens fit is terrible. I think.
Oh, ready? I do have it.
Oh, sweet.
I said this was July 28th, 5:24 p.m. I said, have you taken a look into De'Ami Brown? You said, who's that? Question mark. Sucks to be you.
Sucks.
I said UNC receiver. He's filthy, like criminally underrated. That's going to go down as a historic screenshot for me.
Not so much for my department over there, but De'Ami Brown,
Wow,
here we
go down
are.
as a bad screenshot for you.
Freezing cold takes. Who's that? He's my receiver 7. Love that guy. I think him and Daz Newsome.
I like Daz, too.
I like Daz, too. I actually really hope Daz Newsome's a Raven.
He's kind of like, I feel like, who'd you draft last year? Prochet?
Yeah, Prochet and Duvernay.
Yeah.
Who were oddly similar.
Where did Prochet go? 5th or 6th?
7th round pick was Geno Stone, and I think Prochet was the 6th.
I don't even hate Geno Stone. He's the safety, right?
Yeah.
Texas?
Yeah. Iowa. And Caden Stearns from Texas. That's another guy that was supposed to go in like the first round 2 years ago, and he was like top of all the Madden big boards.
Anytime I do a team mock draft and Caden Stearns is available like in the 6th round, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Because like he still might be good.
Caden Stearns, like,
he had a 6 sophomore year.
He's good. He's good at football. Him and Deshaun Elliott from Texas, those guys. Find out where James.
Is it Deshaun?
Deshaun or Deshaun Elliott? I don't know.
It was Deshaun.
I just love him.
He came out of nowhere. Literally out of nowhere.
Yeah, Prochet was a 6th round pick. Deshaun Elliott's good.
Yeah, really good player. My go-to free agent signing in Madden.
Yeah, I really hope he's never a free agent.
Yeah, no, he's someone you can keep around.
That would be nice.
And he doesn't have 3-ways with his brother, so it's a bonus.
Way better than Earl Thomas off the field.
Texas boys, though.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll learn a thing or two.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, no.
Don't need anybody
Is he
to
still
learn.
not on the team?
Earl Thomas? No, I don't think he is.
He never got signed last year, right?
No, that was kind of surprising, and I think he's going to probably be a Dallas Cowboy.
Everyone was like, Cowboys, yeah.
Even though everybody's been saying that for a long time.
My least favorite thing, like, up until we tagged and then signed Simmons, was all the Cowboys fans. Like, we're getting Justin Simmons. Shut the fuck up.
Everybody, I mean...
You're not.
Texans is, like, a thing. Earl Thomas in Texas, again, is what I've seen the most.
You could teach Deshaun a thing or two.
About what?
Sleeping with your family instead of
massage therapists.
Yeah. It's a sad story.
Yeah. I mean, yikes.
I think it's actually going to be hard, and, like, nothing against the woman. It's a horrible situation. I think it's going to be hard to convict him of anything, and I think he'll still be in the NFL.
I think he's still going to be in the NFL, and I think it's like Mike Vick with human beings, which is awful.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing. But, like, the thing is, like, the only way he does get convicted, and if he is guilty and all of this is true, then he should be thrown in jail.
For a long time.
Is because there are so many women coming out of it.
Yeah, and I think part of the only reason I think he might be guilty, or not might be guilty, but might be, like, proven guilty, is if he says something, which I doubt. But, like, if he tips his hand a little bit after these cases go on and on and on, and kind of gives in, I think maybe something like that could happen. But we saw AB, all this crazy stuff about AB.
Yeah.
Look where he is. He's got a ring on his finger.
It's just like it's such a hard, and like this country is innocent until proven guilty, and it's such a hard thing to prove,
especially
because it's he said, she
positions
said.
of power and stuff like that.
Exactly. So again, if it is true, throw him in jail. He's a horrible person. If it isn't true, F anyone that's screwing him over, and Denver Broncos trade for him.
Yeah. Wow, that would be really fun to see how that. I mean, Denver's kind of the only team that's just like been waiting. They're like, like everybody else. Like Carolina was there. Darnold. Jets were like they're there, and then they fell in love with Wilson. The Bears were hanging around, and they got Dalton. So, I mean, we will see what happens with Deshaun Watson. Might not be anytime soon. The draft has kind of been the centerpiece of the Deshaun Watson trade. Everything about that, because they were like pre-draft trade for Watson or trade him post-draft. But now it's, are you going to be able to trade Deshaun Watson, and should he ever play in the NFL again?
All right, before we wrap it up, to just end off our first podcast episode, let's talk about some second-round guys, because like everything's been so focused on the first round. I want to get into like some of these later round guys that are going to be like really, really good players, because it is a really fun draft class.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw some names at you. Tell me what you think. Starting with someone that you mentioned a lot. I'm blanking on his name. I don't know why I can't think of his name. Who's the corner out of Washington? Elijah Molden.
I love Elijah Molden. I think the nickel is something that's kind of evolving in the NFL, and I think you're seeing guys like Jeremy Chin, Kyle Duggar, and Javon Holland.
Yeah. Javon Holland is getting listed at corner all the time.
I saw that. Pro Football Focus had their corner rankings, and Javon Holland was ranked like 6th or 7th.
By the way, Pro Football Focus is stupid.
It's their PFF. Follow the grades. NFL, those are nice.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
The PFF college is bonkers.
Because they go off the grades.
They go off the grades, and you can't. It's measuring apples and oranges when you have like a CUSA player doing really well, and then like a Bama receiver who's not really, like. I'll say this, and I know I love him, and I kind of maybe introduce you to this guy, but Jalen Darden is high on every PFF college thing. I'm like, okay, he's in Conference USA. Like, of course he has a good PFF grade because he's a good player in a crap conference.
I think the best way to look at it is they have Najee as their running back 3, they have Williams as their RB2, and Etienne as their RB1. Etienne and Williams are playing in the ACC. They're not going up against the Florida defense, a Georgia defense, an LSU defense. Like, Najee is going up against the best defenses
jumping over
in
people
the country and balling the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder his grade isn't as high as ACC running
Like,
back.
no wonder his, like, domination grade is not whatever.
Like, imagine what Najee would do to Duke.
Oh, my God.
Or Georgia Tech.
Didn't they play Duke not that long ago? Bama? In, like, a Chick-fil-A opening game?
I think when
Or
Jones was there.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
I really want to see if Najee did something to Duke.
I think the emphasis was more on, like, Bo
Oh, I know.
Scarborough at that point.
Probably. Yeah, it was 2019.
So after Jones. Oh, no.
Najee Harris, whoa. They just didn't do anything in this game on the ground. Tua threw for like 340 yards and 4 touchdowns. Okay, anyways, Najee Harris is the RB1 is what we're saying. And back to Elijah Molden, that position's evolving. And I think I currently have him graded as...
Judy went off second.
Yeah, star talent with day one grade. I don't really think he's going to be a day 1 pick, but he is my corner 5 behind Surtain, Farley, Horn, and that's not in an order. Farley, Horn, that's like the 2 of them. And then Newsome, and then Molden's right there. And I think Pac-12 secondary players are good, and they see a lot of passes downfield in Pac-12 offenses that run pro-style sets, so they know what to look for when they get to the NFL. And we've seen Washington players succeed, Kevin King, stuff like that. I think Molden's the next one.
All right, I'm going to go through like some forgotten players that like were once really high.
Go for it.
Starting off with a guy that I think could be the first pick in the second round, Pat Freiermuth.
Pat Freiermuth, whatever. That's a mouthful at the end of that. Baby Gronk doesn't like being called Baby Gronk, but
he doesn't.
No.
Wow.
He says he wants to like make his own name.
I would love to be called Baby Gronk.
I know. I have him at 33 too. And tight end 2 for me. Still deciding kind of how high I really want to grade him, but I think he's the next best guy behind Pitts, and I think without that injury, boy, we're talking about a first-round play.
Yeah. I like Pat Freiermuth a lot.
Yeah.
Move. I'll never get it. Wyatt Davis. Actually, 2 for Wyatt Davis, Creed Humphrey.
Oh, Creed Humphrey, like him. He is probably the second best center in the draft behind Landon Dickerson. And then Wyatt Davis is my second interior offensive lineman behind AVT. And I think Wyatt Davis could be an early second-round guy. Creed Humphrey, I think, could slip just because true center, not like
Dickerson can play guard.
Dickerson can
play guard. A little like, who was the center last year?
Ruiz was the top center last year, and they moved him.
I can't think of a guy. He played this year, too. Need to go back.
Last year. Tyler Biadasz?
Yes.
Yeah.
He started for the Cowboys with injuries.
Yeah. So, true center like that. And he fell to, 100 something, 4th round, I think.
Yeah, he went in the 4th round.
So I think we could see Creed Humphrey slip. The true center thing, I don't know if him being a lefty center throws that much off, but the ball spins differently. I don't know if that's going to scare teams at all or do anything, but I do think Creed Humphrey might slip, and I think Wyatt Davis will go high.
All right, 3 defensive players I'm going to throw at you.
Go for
Joseph Osai, Paulson Adebo, and Jamar Johnson, which we touched on a bit earlier.
So Osai is right now. He's my edge 2A and B. Still kind of deciding, and that's with Jalen Phillips. I like Ojulari the best. Edge is kind of everywhere. For
I
me.
personally love Ojulari. I think Ojulari is like the best player. I'm just like in such a mock draft headspace that like Jalen Phillips is going to be the first edge off the board. Where I'm like Jalen Phillips is the best edge in the class.
I agree. I think Phillips will go first, but I love Osai. I forget the other player, but I'll go to Adebo. Adebo, I'm seeing get buzz again, which is really nice to see.
I consistently had him mocked in the first round last year.
Me too. 20s, 16 area, like that. I love the Cardinals fit, like preseason. Adebo's my corner, a 10, so right behind Aaron Robinson, above Trill Williams, and guys like Tyson Campbell.
I think he's certainly a day 2 pick. I hope he goes into second. He's a good player.
He is really good. I don't know where
his Instagram is a bit strange.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'll look into that. But Paulson Adebo, the Pac-12 short season hurt him, but I don't think he's done anything to hurt his cause. And I think that Paulson Adebo should be a second-round pick.
By the way, I'm looking at like a random big board just to remind myself of these players. This guy's Mac Jones at 77.
It's a lot.
Wild. All right, Cuse boy, Andre Cisco.
Andre Cisco is... Oh, Jamar Johnson is the other guy that you said. So we'll go back-to-back safeties. They're my safeties 4-5. Johnson first, then Cisco. Behind Richie Grant, who's at 3. Holland at 2. Morig at 1. And Jamar Johnson's gotten a lot of buzz. He's kind of a guy that showed up on tape after the season, which you have those guys every year. Jamin Davis is one of them. And where I think watching Justin Fields' tape was like, who's that guy? And then Cisco's a guy that the name's been around for a while.
For a really long time.
And I think he's finally going to get a shot in the NFL. Should be a day 2 pick, both of them. I like the hype Johnson's getting. It seems to be more than Cisco, but Cisco's a dog, and I love him. And that Q secondary, you're starting to just look around and be like, hold on, how, like, Fetu Melifonwu at corner, Trill Williams at corner, Cisco at safety. What went wrong? I don't know. Probably the offense and their inability to do anything.
When I got into Syracuse, you texted me, congrats on Cuse, baby, # Andre Cisco.
There it is. Andre Cisco is a dog. Love
also,
that guy.
just looking back through our text, I don't even know what game this is referring to. December 19th, 2020, you just texted me in all caps, Najee is a fucking animal.
It
might have been the hurdle.
It might have been the hurdle. Najee Harris is fucking incredible. That text kind of sums it up. Najee Harris will just like run a stretch. You're like, oh, he's running out of room, and then he's on. Najee Harris does the Lamar Jackson Syracuse hurdle just like routine.
Consistently.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Let's find a good one. I'll talk about Chaz Surratt after, just because I have a draft crush on him.
Yeah, I got a guy I'm going to give you after this.
Boogie Basham.
Oh,
another
love
forgotten
him.
soul.
Carlos Basham, Wake Forest.
If you want an edge
Boogie's the nickname.
that you know is going to be good, like just right off the gate.
High floor.
Super high floor. Like a really, really good player. I think Boogie is a high second or early second round pick.
Yeah, listen, experience is key.
Yeah.
When you're not the freak athlete that some of these guys are, Boogie Basham is a little on the heavier side. Not one of these late guys.
Kind of a chunk.
Yeah, not one of these late guys like Quincy Roche, who is speed. But when you look at those guys,
You're reason gonna get crucified for that. It's Quincy Roche.
Quincy Roche, Boogie Basham, both redshirt seniors. Experience is key when you're not a top guy. And that's why I like Basham. He's my 8th edge. And I think that he's going to surprise. Another guy I think will go day 2. I think round 3. But we'll see what happens. But I do like Basham, and I think he's been forgotten about.
All right, and then I just want to talk about Chaz Surratt, and then you can give me your guy, and then we'll wrap it up. But Chaz Surratt, and I've said this to you before, I'm so high on Chaz just because of the fact that he's so football young. He's 23 years old, but he's football young at the position of linebacker. He played quarterback until 2 years ago at UNC. Then again, Sam Howell came along, who, by the way, QB1 next year. I'm so high on Sam Howell. It's not even funny.
QB2, Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
That'll be our post-draft podcast. Just debating that for an hour.
A year.
Yeah. But just ask us switch positions. came into the linebacker role, already a natural leader, very physical guy already to begin with. Showed it at linebacker, all ACC. I think he's a really good player, and if he goes to the right coaching staff, that development will only continue, and he'll be such a good player in the NFL.
And he's like that tackler that you want that's been idolized since Luke Kuechly, and we love those guys. Like, Evan Weaver was that, but never the athlete.
Yeah, never the athlete.
Chaz Surratt's the athlete with that, and he's got enough athleticism for that to work in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I'm going to shoot two guys at you right now. We'll start with the linebacker, and we touched on linebacker earlier with guys like Zaven Collins, Jamin Davis, just talked about Chaz Surratt. One guy we haven't said his name yet. Not Cameron McGrone. Love him, though. A little later, my fifth linebacker, Baron Browning.
Baron Browning. Good athlete.
Yeah.
He's the best Ohio State linebacker athlete because the rest are just like thumpers.
Yeah.
Like Shaq Quarterman.
Pete Warner.
Yeah, Pete Warner and Tough Borland. Sickest name ever.
Yeah.
Literally the sickest name ever. He better rock like a neck pad in the NFL.
Please.
If your name's
Tough Borland, if you're watching.
Which you are.
Which, obviously, because your jersey's up there somewhere. Just
it's over to the side.
A little higher up there. Please wear a neck pad, and you will instantly be the next Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah, you'll start. No, I really like Baron Browning.
Yeah.
He's kind of another, like, fast riser.
Cover linebacker.
Yeah.
Could go to a team where you're playing in a division with speed guys. And then...
And much like Jabril Cox, he's a consistent tackler.
Yes, he is. Like Patrick Queen, kind of something like that.
Patrick Queen sucks. Everyone on the Ravens is horrible.
No. Queen also...
First round exit.
Second round. Then interior D lineman. This guy, one of the opt-outs that you hated to see. I mean, had to opt out. There was a lot going on family-wise there.
Baby AD?
Nope.
Oh, direction.
Different direction. Twisting it up on you. Guy plays out west, Jay Tufele.
Jay Tufele. So my dad is good friends with Tufele's agent, who I follow. We interviewed him for a radio show. I'm sure we can have him back on maybe the podcast if that's something you guys want to see. But and I follow him closely on Instagram. He's been working his ass off. I think he's in like 10 times better shape than he was before the opt-out. I think that he's going to be a very, very good football player. I'm very high in Tufele. I don't think he's going to go in the first 2 rounds. He might be a third-round pick.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be well worth the pick. Obviously, the opt-out's got to hurt. But, like, the athleticism that he's developed over the past the whole offseason for him because he didn't have a season.
Yeah.
But I think he's been, like, working his ass off, working with guys like Penei Sewell more recently. So I think that he can be a really, really good football player.
And bringing the athleticism to interior D-line is huge when you're not the run stuffer size.
He's like Vita Vea.
Yeah.
Now he's like more fit than that.
More of an athlete. He's my 4 in that position.
Wow.
So I have Levi Onwuzurike.
That's our 1.
I think I just nailed that.
You probably did. I haven't even tried to pronounce his last name out loud. In my head, it comes out as like Onworks.
Christian Barmore, and then Davion Nixon.
Yeah.
But I like Tufele a lot.
I do.
And then baby AD, Jalen Twyman.
Beast.
5th round pick, probably. But, boy, is he going to be good.
Yeah, I think he'll be good.
Yeah.
All right. Ready to end it?
I'm ready.
All right.
It's a wrap.
Fun first episode.
EP1.
I'm sure next week to get clicks because we're sellouts. We'll do a mock draft.
Obviously.
Trade out. We'll trade out picks back to back.
Yep.
Should be a lot of fun. But yeah, guys, let us know if you enjoyed the podcast. It's something that we hope to keep growing. It'll be on my YouTube, Football Discussions, which will probably end up becoming like the shared YouTube. And he has a
Instagram account
Shout it out.
at NFL Draft Geek with a little underscore under there.
Yeah.
Put that link somewhere. I don't new to the YouTube kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is your field. But yeah, draft content from both of us and right here. So it'll be fun. Tune in, draft, not very far away.
Not very far away.
One of the most entertaining times to be a football fan.
I'm sure we'll do like an episode a night leading up to the NFL draft.
Yes.
But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. If this is something you guys enjoyed, let us know in the comments. Give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Take it easy, guys. Peace.